You two, we need to stick close. What the hell? Did you hear that?
What on earth is that?
Okay, very good. We're freaked. Who's there?
Whoever you are, this isn't funny at all. John, where are you? Daniel? Taylor? Come on, John, where are you? This isn't funny.
It's been a bit of a challenging time for lots of people. I'm grateful that in the grand scheme of things, I've been relatively lucky. This is obviously something that's affected people globally and to sort of varying degrees. So very grateful for the fact that, as I say, in the wider context, I've been very lucky. And just hope that we're sort of headed in the right direction and back towards a kind of more sort of recognizable version of the world we live in. So admittedly, I'm not a huge gamer myself. But I was very grateful when they got in contact with me and approached me with the opportunity to be a part of this incredible game. And one of the reasons that I was so excited about it was, I think, because it was so cinematic and so filmic. The Dark Picture series of games are sort of a series of standalone, intense sort of cinematic horror games. And Little Hope is the second in that series. And really with its sort of branching narrative paths and the fact that it's based around human relationships and there are sort of multiple characters that you can play, it really kind of resembled sort of, many of the kind of opportunities I've been lucky enough to have in the world of film. And it was especially exciting because in this game, I'm actually responsible for 3 different characters across 3 different time periods, which was a really, really fun challenge. And that in itself was a little bit different to anything I've done before. So it was probably the first time that I'd done kind of motion capture on that sort of scale, or at least that much motion capture for a project. And fortunately, although you explore various different timelines within the game, we were able to, for the most part, compartmentalize it. So the first character that I'm responsible for in the 1970s, we were able to sort of shoot most of the material relative to his character and his path at one stage. Then the character that I'm responsible for the bulk of the game, Andrew, who exists in the present day. We shot during a second section, and then there's a third character called Abraham who actually exists in the 17th century, and we only on occasion shooting sort of simultaneously between the 2 characters, and that was a little bit trickier, but really enjoyed it and very grateful for the fact that the production team was so experienced and really helped me through it. And Nick, our director, was absolutely incredible and really kind of coached me through the whole experience. Yeah, the graphics are absolutely amazing, and it's really strange to see myself as a video game character. The sort of thing I think as a kid, you know, you could only sort of imagine in your wildest dreams. So to see it was really, really strange, and it's unbelievable, the technology and you know the ability that the people behind the technology have in order to sort of capture. Not only, I think, you know, really realistic visuals, but also nuances of performances, and you know, to be able to pick up on the smallest and most minute facial expressions and have that translate into the game experience is amazing. It makes it all the more realistic and hopefully horrifying as well. That's one of the great things about the I think the gaming experience with Little Hope, and I think all of the games in the Dark Picture series, as far as I'm aware, that it's very much on the player to decide the path of each character. And I think a lot of people can relate to that experience of watching a horror film and wanting to take charge and wanting to make decisions for the characters to sort of evade trouble, you know, a lot of the time. And that's the great thing about this experience, is you're given that opportunity. You really do dictate the pathway for each of the characters. So whether it's Anthony, Andrew, or Abraham, any of those three characters that relate to me, you are responsible for the decisions that they make. And yeah, there are some pretty you know, gruesome deaths. You know, the important thing to remember is that every character can make it to the end alive, but of course every character can die too. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky that I'd had the opportunity to do Bandersnatch before, just because it gave me some small taste of what it's like to sort of shoot, you know, branching narratives and entertain kind of multiple pathways for a character. I will say that nothing could have prepared me for the pace that you shoot a video game at. You really, really do move very, very quickly, and you know, where you might get through between sort of 2 and 5 pages, you know, on a film or television shoot, typically speaking, you know, I don't even know how many pages we were getting through a day on Little Hope, but I also really enjoyed that pace as well. And there's something about, even though obviously, you know, technology plays a huge role, and of course, you know, there isn't a sort of immediate audience, there is a sense of theatre to it. You know, you're on the floor playing with each other in this space in a way that feels a lot like live theatre, strangely. I hope so. You know, I mean, personally, that really intrigues me. I think part of being able to access the themes of the game and have a really kind of enjoyable playing experience is authenticity, and authenticity was sort of the driving force, I think, in the creation of all the games in this series, and especially in Little Hope, you know, right down to, you know, making sure that things were historically accurate. As I understand it, a costume designer with a film background is actually responsible for the costume designs in this game. So it just gives you an indication of the sort of level of authenticity and filmic qualities that the creatives are trying to sort of imbue the games with. And I love that experience. And I know that there are modes where you can play in sort of movie mode. So, you know, you can have groups of friends, you know, watching you play, and then the game sort of almost takes on a kind of the shape of a sort of different, unique medium, somewhere between game and film. I've seen the gameplay for Man of Medan, but haven't had a chance to play it. I'm a little bit scared, to be honest. You know, I've seen the gameplay, and again, the graphics are phenomenal, and the story is really beautifully layered and clever, you know, unfurls in a really kind of clever way. So I'm excited to get around to that. I'm really excited to play Little Hope as well. I've only seen gameplay, so I can't wait to play it. Sure. I felt immensely flattered to have been asked to kind of participate in, I think, such an important retelling of a true event, an event that unfortunately, you know, resembles things that we continue to see regarding racially motivated police brutality towards the African American community and systemic racism in America in general. I felt very flattered to have a part in telling a story about a group of people who didn't get any justice, you know, who were brutalized, murdered, and, you know, furthermore, failed by the justice system. So to have a hand in telling a story that was swept under the rug, and also simultaneously draw attention to the fact that, you know, those things continue to happen today, and the criminal justice system continues to fail the Black community, you know, was very important. Catherine Bigelow is a fantastic filmmaker, and the cast that I was lucky enough to be a part of, you know, I hold in the highest regard. I think the work that's being done by Black Lives Matter movement and the Black community is phenomenal, and I don't for a second want to detract from the progress and the hard work that is being done. But I think it's incumbent on the people in positions of power and the system to make sure that they are doing more in order to support the Black community during this difficult period. And one thing that's particularly, you know, clear is we shot this film, as you say, sort of 4 years ago, came out a year later. And then we were talking about how events that took place in 1967 resembled events that were taking place at the time of its release. And in 50 years, not enough has been done. And clearly, you know, you only have to look at events as recent as a few weeks ago to underscore the same fact that not enough is being done. And, you know, we need political, governmental, you know, we need change at the highest level in order to eradicate systemic racism and develop a culture of anti-racism. Sure. I felt like that was the best way to use my profile, and that was the way that I felt like I was utilizing the platform to the best of my ability. And, you know, where I'm able to find creative projects that intersect with things that, you know, comment on socio-political issues, you know, that's where I feel like I can kind of do my best work, and Detroit was an example of that. So I can't actually comment on future projects just because it's so uncertain at the moment. Nor can I make comment on the other project. Unfortunately, you know, in both cases, it's a scheduling issue that you know, permitted me from moving forward. Oh, wow. Well, I think the film industry could potentially learn from the game industry insofar as getting back to connecting with audiences on a sort of deeper level, and really thinking about the experiential side of cinema going and filmmaking in general. I think it's fantastic to have escapism and spectacles on screen, but thinking about how you can be sort of deeply moved and immersed in something, and then furthermore how that might affect you after leaving the cinema or after the screening process is over. It is something that I think we need to continue to keep in mind in the film industry.
Well, thank you again for chatting with me this morning. I can't wait to play the game, and I hope I can keep you alive for all part of the game. Yeah.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
What is your name, sir?
Andrew?
Andrew? And your name, lady?
Who the hell are you? Why are you dressed like that?
I am called Mary. I fashioned her with my own hand. She looks just like the one beside you. Would you kindly come play with me? Come play?